Strap yourselves in, this is gonna get interesting. For this video, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna be doing 3 short reviews for 3 different machinimas because either I didn't have much to talk about, or I can say everything I can say in about 2 or 3 minutes. So in light of this, instead of wasting my precious time editing 3 separate videos for you fucking so in an effort to correctly use my precious time that I really shouldn't be wasting making these videos for you mom and so to be curious to the audience instead of making 3 separate videos that all of you stupid people will watch, so I can save editing, time, and effort that I can put into bigger projects or bigger reviews, I can put all these different reviews into one big video, so you don't have to just go out and just watch 3 small stuff that really doesn't need to be made. It also gives me ample opportunity to experiment not only with my editing, but also with how I format this review, because I'm not doing this with a script, I only have a few notes and that's it. So without further ado, let's get right down into this! Inside jokes are a very inclusive type of comedy. Those associated with its context will find it irresistibly hilarious. But for those without context, the punchlines may go a bit over their heads. Hologram War is a machinima solely based on inside jokes, and we're going to be looking at whether it falters or does pretty good with these. The story in Hologram War is very easy to follow, and it's rather intense and rather weird at some points.
Feel the insides of me, Oreo! Feel the insides! Get inside of me!
The comedy can sometimes be good, or they can be bad depending on who you are. Let me put this in perspective. The entire concept of the Hologram War, all the jokes, levels, settings, characters are all based on real things that happened in one bodying session. And it depends whether you participated or heard of this session is going to affect your enjoyability of this machinima. Even if you don't have context, some of the jokes are rather funny and some of the characters are rather eccentric.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down.
But that still slices down half of the jokes that you might have enjoyed if you had context. This is the problem with inside jokes and references, and I've seen this a lot in machinima. Reference humor isn't inherently bad, rather it depends on your execution. And in Hologram War, I don't think that was really done well, as I hear a lot of people say that they don't get what's going on with the situations or why things are happening or some of the jokes that are being made. But it also doesn't help because of the length, because the jokes go lightning fast, the situations go very fast without explaining anything that's happening, and it kind of leaves the viewer a bit bewildered as to what's going on and what's happening. What? Though one thing that's going in Hologram War's favor, and you can probably see with the footage on screen, is that both cinematography, sound and music, and the voice acting, and all the little visual effects and grading are being done. It's all looks good, and it's be able to improve your enjoyability, because you may not understand what's happening, but at least it looks nice. So if I have to say another thing that's wrong with this is the voice actor for the director. Like, Jesus Christ, he speaks so loud and so minuscule. It doesn't sound like he has any confidence or oomph, and his mic sounds terrible. Like, who is this? Oh. Next on our list we have the Wasteland Act One. This is a very interesting one because there are sparks of quality and things that could be good, but it's cut down short by not executing these ideas further enough or by its very, very short runtime. This is the first part of a post-apocalyptic machinima anime. Machinima anime? What the fuck am I saying? This is the first part of a post-apocalyptic machinima series, and after watching this, I have no idea what the hell is going on. I have no idea who these people are, why this person did that, why are they here, what's the setting, what happened. Oh god. I'm someone who likes to go with ambiguity or starting ahead in time of my stories. That's the kind of style I like and like to see in other media. But the thing about these movies, machinimas, video games, or what else, is that they give context, or they're able to give a little bit of exposition or any subtle details in the background or in the world to tell you what's going on. With Wasteland, I guess there was a zombie apocalypse, I think, and now people are going out to survive, but that's it? I don't know! It seems like Echo Entertainment had an idea, they had a structure that they wanted to go through, but they didn't carry it throughout. There is development and character interactions, there is a plot twist, but it happens so fast and suddenly it just snaps by. There's no connection or anything like that, there's no impact, there's no explanations. I don't understand why this character would betray his partner, nor the reason why he would have to. The dialogue could do so much more, the music could do so much more, the editing could do so much more. The beginning minute is probably my favorite of the machinima because it's paced well, it's taking its time, and then the rest of the machinima just flies back at a terrific speed! There's a sudden time or location jump I don't even know that goes from one location to another and then just a few seconds later cuts and ends the machinima. You got to pace out, take your time with your stories. Your visuals look good and your cinematography could lose a little bit oomph, but it's getting there. Your sound and music needs a little bit of work, but it's getting there. Just pace out your stories. If you think your machinima is going to be 5 minutes, please just make it 10 minutes because you need that time, you need that spacing, and you need to flesh out everything. You need to do more and execute more, and that's what I think the Wasteland is struggling, because it doesn't have enough. It needs more to feel good, because there's some spark in there that could be good. You gotta put more in that sandwich. You can't just have ham or cheese. You gotta add that tomatoes, lettuce, mustard, honey mustard, pickles, banana peppers, whatever. Make it good. And lastly, to finish off this trio is Blue Guy's Revenge. This machinima kind of takes influence from both anime, RB and the Chief, and to an extent, Master Chief War, and I think that's what the creator was going for, but I don't think it sort of reaches the degree that the insanity or nuances that these sort of series were able to achieve. The premise is very simple. Red Guy does some very serious stuff, while Blue Guy comes out and says, no, I'm alive, and wants to blow up the entire world, then Red Guy goes to stop him because MLG or something, I don't fucking know. It's weird, but it's simple at the same time. You'll understand when you watch it. There's a lot of camera shake and action, explosions, and fighting, and voice acting that's very dramatic and serious and screaming, but though I think there's something a bit missing, and I think what that is that this machinima could have done with a little bit more oomph in all of its departments. The dialogue could have been more dramatic and serious and taken itself so seriously to where it comes off as really funny and sometimes on the point of parody. The voice acting could have been more louder, more dramatic, more heart and more character to it. The action could have been more intense or more faster paced, and the editing could provide that in just faster cuts, faster edits, and a few bit of transitional effects. Again, making comparisons with Master Chief War, but Lyle McDouchebag, or Guitar Master X17 as we've once known, he was able to add intense action, but made fast, quick cuts that cut to each other that make it seem very dramatic, but also amazing at the same time. And I think that's definitely what Blue Guy's Revenge could have done with it. It could have been done with more intense action with faster editing that could really amplify not only its intensity, but also the hilarity of the situation. Which is not knocking Machinima by itself. I think it's very funny and hilarious and doesn't take itself so... It takes itself seriously to the point where it's so unserious and on the verge of parody that you can't just help but laugh. It has a bit of a old 2007 charm to it. I think of all three I've talked so far, Blue Guy's Revenge is probably my favorite, and it's because I don't have much to say about it, is because of how little I have problems with it, other than it needs to be more oomph to it. It needs to be more intense, more faster, and bigger, and stronger. It has a lot of still shots where you could have just taken the camera, just turn it around or shake it around, and that would just come off as parody or just taking yourself so seriously just for the point of comedy. But still, on its own, it's a pretty entertaining and funny machinima on itself. In fact, here's a clip from the upcoming sequel. And besides needing faster cut, it's definitely going for more of that oomph factor with adding some animation and more louder, more dramatic voice acting.
God damn idiots!
Now with all those out of the way, it's time for the final verdicts. Hologram War can be a funny machinima if you can get in on the jokes and references. Because it focuses on inclusive humor, it narrows down its demographic or people that it can get its jokes across to. And for that, I'm probably going to give it a 6 out of 10. For Wasteland, it would have been good if it took its time and fleshed out its characters, fleshed out its story, world building, had a bit more consistent editing, and not take dramatic turns or something, or at least have explanations to what's going on and why these things are happening or what these characters' motives are. And for that, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10. Blue Guy's Revenge, it's very over the top and actiony and has a lot of over the dramatic screaming and voice acting, but it definitely could have went above that. It could have been added more intensity, more faster cuts, more absurdities. And it could have been amazing, but it's still good on its own, and I probably have to give it a 7 out of 10, but it's only if you like this kind of humor. If you like any of these machinimas, or at least want to see something similar, then check out Installation 07. It has a lot of references and meta humor, but it also has a lot of jokes that if you're not really into the things it's talking about, you can still get it and have a good time while watching it. Promised Land, which has the same format as the Wastelands opening, but instead it's able to pace itself out and do a bit more of its premise, and able to flesh out its characters and its world. And obviously I already talked about Master Chief War, and if you haven't seen that, I would go watch it, but recently came out was Forge Fight Redux, which is absolute absurdity and a really good use of Halo 4's Forge. It's absolutely amazing, and I would definitely give it a watch. If you have a Machinima or would like to see a Machinima review, tell me in the comments and I'll see if I can get right to it. And with that all said and done, I bid you all adieu.